Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Phantom Gaming. We are back into Space Engineers, but today we're going to be doing something different. I thought we'd start a different survival series. It's basically going to be a walkthrough survival with me, whereby I take you through how to start, what to look for, what to build at beginning stages, and all of that. Just a nice little kind of entry into the game. So yeah, guys, if you're enjoying the content, please hit that like and subscribe button. Hit that notification bell to get some notifications when the next videos go live, and leave me some comments to let me know what you guys thinking of the content you see. But without further ado, let's take a look and see how we're going to do this. So when you start off, you're going to obviously go into new game. You can do a play quick start if you want to, but I would suggest not to, because you obviously get a chance to then customize what you want. There's going to be no mods in this. This is going to be a straightforward playthrough, no modifications. So, I mean, as you can see, I have got the list of mods that I have got, but we're going to have no active mods played in this survival series. What I would suggest, if we take a look down at the bottom here, it's up to you if you're going to use them at a later stage. Scripting is always good. It does help, so I will always set it. But everything else I'm going to leave default. So no spiders, no subgrid damage, things like that. It's going to be nice, plain, simple, very easy. So what we're going to do is we're going to call this, let's go survive, die. All right, so without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into Space Engineer Survive or Die. Okay, so as you can see, you start off with your message of the day. One of the most popular worlds in Space Engineers, featuring several planets for you to build, explore, and survive on. Customize the settings and play to your heart's content. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different available drop pods to start off with. So spacesuit would basically mean you start in space all by your lonesome self with nothing but your suit. Space pod is a large grid. So it obviously is a little bit bigger. I would say for starting, it's a lot more challenging, so I wouldn't suggest this. I would suggest your drop pods. Now, your Mars drop pod is quite nice because Mars does have quite a lot of ore patches and things like that. But I would always suggest, as the most folks say is boring, but I would always say go with an Earth-like drop pod to start off with. So that's exactly what we're going to do. But you can pick. You can do whichever one you want. You can do the alien. You can do the moon drop, Titan. So the moon drop will give you a rover, as you can see. But yeah, we're going to do the Earth-like drop pod. And you can see the oxygen levels at 90% and planet gravity is 1G, which means we are going to be pretty much stuck on Earth. So let's get into this. So we spawn ourselves out. What you're going to notice as you start floating in this wonderful little pod, it seems like we've got some terrain around us. I don't see any ore markings, but that's okay. We'll figure that out as we go along. We've got the mountain here, so hopefully we'll have some cobalt nearby. But you start off in this wonderful passenger seat, and what I would always suggest is you click I to open up your menu, your inventory, and in your inventory you start off with a pistol and some range, and you start off with a station GPS. So what you do is you right click on the GPS. It'll tell you, basically give you a short description of it. So there's plenty of work available. If you know where to look, you should investigate this place. And it tells you, I heard there is a shortage on couriers. So basically that's telling me is that there's going to be possibly quite a bit of hauling missions there and that. So you click create GPS marker. Okay, then what you need to do is go to GPS and it'll be there. So you can either double click to activate it, okay, or you can go down here to say show on HUD. So let me just show you. If you click there and we jump out of our little pod, you'll see that it now shows there that that is 73.91 kilometers away. So that is quite a distance away. Unfortunately, it's not something that we're going to be able to do now. So we're not too phased about that right now. What we need to do is get our survival stuff up and running. We need to get ourselves a little base. Now, this terrain that we've landed on seems to be quite all right. It's nice and flattish. So we should be able to get a nice little base started here. Maybe if we just move a little bit more this way. But yeah, we should be able to get a nice little base started here. I think this should be a good spot to start. So on your drop pod, as you can see, we've got quite a few different things that are on here already. So we'll start with the basics. You've got your seat, okay, your control seat, or your, let's just do that. You've got your passenger seat, so you can jump in there. Look at the bottom left, it will restore your energy and your O2 and that. Then you come to the side of the ship, you can see you've got your battery over there. Now your battery is very important on this rover because obviously it's the only source of power that you've got on this drop pod. So if we take a look at that battery quickly, so let's go into the control panel, we go to the battery. We have got 2 days left of power, and you can see the stored power draining as we go along. So we need to work fast to get some source of power to us. If you go to the back here, you'll see we've got a survival kit. Now in the survival kit, it's got, so we'll do that. Okay, obviously, so up top here, you've got show inventory interacted with item. So this will only show the item that, or the box or cargo container or whatever you've clicked on. It will only show the storage of that specific item. Or you can go and click here, show connected inventories, which means basically anything that's connected to the survival kit you'll be able to see. But if you take a look here, this is all in the O2H2 generator. Now if I try and pull that out, I can't move it anywhere because the O2H2 generator is not directly connected into the survival kit. So I can't pull stuff directly out there. What I need to do is go to the O2H2 generator, which is over here, and then I can now pull it out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the hydrogen bottle on me because it is a +1 to have. And if you take a look at the HUD on the bottom left, over by the hydrogen, you'll see that I've now got a hydrogen bottle there, which shows that I'm now holding the bottle on me and on my person, which is a good thing because it now means that I can now fly around and not stress about running out of hydrogen too quickly. The other nice thing is you can always look at refilling your hydrogen bottle, and that's very easy to do. You'll have to come here. You obviously go into the O2H2 generator. You can either just drag and drop it, or you can double click it. It goes in, it'll refill as long as you have a source of ice, and you pull it back. Then if you look at the side here, we've got a little computer on the side of the survival kit. If you hold left click, oh not left click, sorry, if you hold F on it, then it'll refuel your health, your O2, your hydrogen, and your energy. But for now, we need to start looking at basically getting some form of base setup. So what you need to start with, your survival kit on the back. Okay, if you click on production here, your survival kit can start off by building and crafting some ingots. So to create 1 at a time is left click. Okay, to create 10 at a time, you hold control and you left click. It'll create 10 at a time. To create 100 at a time, it's hold shift and it'll create 100 at a time. Or if you want to create 1,000 at a time, it's shift control, left click, and it'll create 1,000 at a time. So what we're going to do is we're going to queue 1,000 in there, but we do need some stone. Now, to get stone, as you can see, this is grassy terrain. Yes, there's rocks and stuff, but we want to be able to get some form of stone quite quickly. So what we're going to do is we're going to dig down. And bear in mind, you don't want to go straight down because you want to be able to get in and out without using hydrogen too much. So we're going to quickly just get down to some form of rock here. So you can see now I've got easy access in and out of my mining tunnel. And if you take a look here, the terrain has changed from this dirt terrain to stone. So we're just going to mine some out here to get into the survival kit. So yeah, we'll be right back. Okay, so yeah, the only difference between mining from this dirt terrain to mining from stone is the yield difference. So you get more stone. As you can see, obviously it's dropped a lot more compared to drilling and mining out from the dirt terrain. So what we do with the stone now is we come to the survival kit, put our lights off, open up the survival kit, and obviously remember we have queued up 1,000 um, ingots. So you start off here, you queue up 1,000 ingots. Apologies, I did forget to go through this, but then you've got components. It starts off with basic components that you can craft. Then you've got equipment, so it can craft some equipment for you. It can do your tools, your basic tools, that is. One pistol, and obviously ammunition for that pistol. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go into the inventory, and we're going to drag this into the survival kit. And as you can hear, as you drag the stone across, it'll start producing your ingots. So it'll give you silicone wafers, it'll give you nickel ingots, it'll give you iron ingots, and gravel. Now, obviously, the survival kit is not going to give you great yield because it's just starting. That's basically a start-off position, but it is very important to have because we obviously need to be able to start building some form of platform, some form of base, somewhere to start off with. Now, what we need to do is we obviously need to start building some form of platform. But if we take a look, if you press G, it'll bring you into your config, your toolbar config. You've got a whole bunch of blocks here and things like that. But if you look at the progression bar, which is over here, now we can see that a lot of these things are blacked out. So for instance, we'll have to, in order to build turrets or interior lights or any of these guys over here, we'll have to first basically set up a basic assembler and so on and so forth. Obviously through the progression you'll have to unlock things. So what I want to do first is we basically just want to get some form of platform set, and that we're going to use the light armor blocks for. If you can see, it's in free placement mode at the moment. If you press B, it'll change to gravity align or local grid align. So we obviously want it on gravity align so that we can get a nice set there, but we need steel plates. So how do we get steel plates? That is a good question. So now we go into your survival kit, we go to production. We can see that we now have available 81 iron ingots, and we've got, it takes 7 iron ingots to create a steel plate. So I'm just going to queue up, say 30 of them for now. If you hover over it, you can see it says you need 100 and odd or whatever the case is to craft them all, and available is only left there. So it'll stop as soon as you don't have any more rock available. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go mine out some more rock. So we'll be right back. Alright, so we've got some more rock mined out, so we're going to just add this into the survival kit again. So we do that. Now, you can do this. You can put it behind, so you can set the order. So as soon as there's not enough iron ingots, it'll stop producing. But what I prefer to do, I like leaving the ingots in front so that it can get rid of all the stone first, which will obviously craft all the ingots and that you need. And then once there's not enough stone left and it stops with the stone, it'll then continue producing what you need. And as you can see there, as it's crafting the ingots, the available ingots are going up that we need to obviously be able to craft the steel plates. So as you can see, we've got 46, 39. It does reduce. I think we should be all right for this for now. So let's take out the steel plates and let's quickly set up a base. Now, I would always suggest starting off with a 3x3 or a 4x4, depending on how you're looking at logistics. But a 3x3 generally works quite well. So I'm going to start off with a 3x3. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3. We come this way, we go 1, 2, 3. We come this way, 1, 2, 3. So that's a nice 3x3 start base. And as you can see, it's very annoying to have to hop up the whole time and things like that. So what I'm going to do is we're going to go into our G menu and we're going to type in here RAM. Or alternatively, what we could do is you can scroll mouse and it will obviously give you the different blocks that you're looking for. So I'm going to put in a little bit of a slope there. So the slope will now provide me easy access up and down, so I don't have to continuously waste my hydrogen. Okay, now as I mentioned, the survival kit is not the greatest of tools to use when you're starting. So you get basic things that you need to start looking at. So what I'm going to do is we're going to start placing down what we need to start off with. So the first thing we need to look at is getting a basic assembler set up. Okay. Now, basic assembler is going to allow us to obviously craft a lot more components and things like that. It's going to have a little bit more. So let's start off and we'll place this over here. As you can see, the basic assembler only has one access port. Okay. And it's a large access port. So we need to obviously mix and match that. We'll talk about the logistics now, but the basic assembler we're going to put over here, and we're going to put the access port facing towards the base. Okay. Then, now that we've got that in there, we need to now look at getting a basic refinery setup, because obviously we would like to find a quicker way to refine things. So as you can see here, there's our basic refinery. If you take a look, it's got two access ports, one on each side obviously. And if we line that access, the large access port, up with the basic assembler, it's going to basically mean that they'll be able to traverse components and ores and between each other. So it's a nice form of logistics between the two. So what we're going to do is we are going to get the basic refinery set up over there, so that when we put stone or whatever ore in here and we've got stuff assembling that requires it, once it's obviously been refined, it will then go into the assembler and start getting assembled up. Okay. Then I think the next thing that we need to look at would be a cargo container. So if we go in here and we say we're going to need a small cargo container, so let's take that out. Okay, the small cargo container, as you can see, has got cargo ports all around, but we need interior plates for this. So what we need to do, let's go back to our survival kit, and we say production, and we just say let's get some 10 interior plates. As you can see, they do use iron ingots as well, but that's fine. So let's just take those out. We're just getting the basic layout at the moment. So now what we need to do is let's go and say 8. We can place our cargo container down over there. Okay, so that's going to help quite nicely. But now, as you see, we have a gap. We have a gap over here, which means that the cargo container and the refinery are not going to be connected. But we will fix that just now. Then I think what we need over here is a survival kit. So let's click on our survival kit. So you obviously drag and drop it into your hotbar like so. But we've also got this wonderful thing called the build planner, which we'll go through just now. Now, if you take a look at the survival kit, it's got two large ports on either side. It's got nothing on the top or the bottom. And when you place your survival kit, you want to make sure that the screen, the LCD screen, is facing towards you, or whichever direction you want it to be. Obviously, that's where you're going to be refining your health or your O2 or your hydrogen, etc. So we're going to place that over there like so, which is going to be there. And then I think on this side over here, we can put our O2H2 generator. So what we'll do is we look at the likes of an O2H2 generator, but I'm not sure if it's exactly what we want to do. The O2H2 generator does help. It does obviously come in handy when you need it. The thing is, you need to have an abundance of ice for an O2H2 generator to obviously work. Now that's the concern I have, is we don't always have an abundance of ice. You need to be able to find that ice when you're looking for it. So that's obviously something that we need to look at. I'm just trying to see here. I'm just trying to see what I need. Okay, yes, so that's fine. So we can put our O2H2 generator over here. So let's get our O2H generator out. We'll just put it in place of the refinery. Now again, the O2H generator has got it's got a port on the bottom, ports on either side, and if we just take a look like this, it's got a port on the top and the bottom. So basically 4 ports that we can use, 4 cargo ports. So we want to align this like that, and we put it in like that. So this is going to be the start to our functional base. What we're going to want to do here is we're going to need conveyor systems. But as you can see, if we type in conveyor here, we don't have access to the conveyors. Why? Because we need to build a cargo container before we can do that. Now, very cleverly, let's just refill our energy here quickly. Now, the nice thing about the drop pod is you can get rid of some of these steel plates and armor blocks and things like that. Get some to get some components that you can use, some extra components. So we're just going to get rid of some of these blocks so that we can get into the drop pod itself. Okay, so let's just take a look here. Okay, okay, so we need to get rid of a little bit more on the top so we can stand there. Okay, if you take a look here, there's a small cargo container over there. So what we're going to do is, if you take a look there on the right, there's a functional and an act line. So it basically means that once you've got it above that functional line, that block that you're building will be functional. So we're going to take it down just below that, and we're going to rebuild it up. And now you see we have unlocked new blocks. Okay. Also, what we might need to do is, if you take a look here, you remove one of the landing gears. Okay, so you just grind it down below functional. Okay, and then you grind it back up. And then we've also got some new blocks that will get unlocked, which is pretty nice. So now, if you take a look at your tree, you can now have conveyor blocks built in. So what we're looking for is the curved conveyor tube. Okay, because we want to be able to obviously link up the refinery to the cargo container like that, and we want to link up the survival kit to the cargo container like that. So now, if I stand up here and we just zoom out here quickly, you can take a look. We've got a very nice logistically set up starter base. But now here's the problem. We need to get all of this built up. But before we do that, we need to get some power to the base. So what I would suggest with this is, from behind the cargo container, we come out, I'd say 9. I prefer 9 blocks. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And we just build it. We just build a nice framework down here so that it's got somewhere to stand on. Okay. Then we go. Most people say 7 blocks is enough, but I always suggest going up 9 blocks. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, we'll stop. Don't do what I just did. Do not fall down there because you will hurt yourself. Okay, so we're up here. Now, you've got 2 types of turbines. You've got the wind turbine one, and you've got the twin blade wind turbine. My personal choice, I like the twin blade wind turbine. What I have found though is, when the wind is not as hard, it does not blow too well. But it's personal choice, whatever you prefer. So I'm going to take the wind turbine, the twin wind turbine, and we're going to place it on top over here, like so. But I think we are missing. We're going to place it on top over there like so. All right, and now we need to start getting things built. So I was talking earlier about the build planner. So what you could always do is, you can go to your wind turbines or whatever you're trying to build. You can middle mouse click, and it will automatically add that block to your build planner. Alternatively, you can go to whichever block you're trying to build, and you can just right click on it, and it will automatically start the build planner. So what we need to do, we now need to obviously get those components built up. So with the production queue, okay, we can get rid of those. So you have 2 options. You can either come in here and click on these cogwheel here, which will add components from your build planner to the queue, or you can alt middle click and it will add them in. So it's personal preference, whichever you prefer. You can see I've added them all there, but we're missing iron ingots. So we're just going to quickly go and drill out some more rocks to get some more iron ingots in there. We'll be back in a bit. Okay, so we've gone and dug up a bit more of the mining hole there. And it is now obviously refining some more for us. So as you can see, we now are producing more ingots. And now if you hover over each item that it's requested, you can see that we now have enough of each ingot to obviously produce the components that we need to get the wind turbine up. So what we're going to do is we're simply going to go through to each block that we need. So we're going to right click, we're going to right click the refinery, right click on the curved conveyor tube, we're going to right click on the small cargo container, the other curved conveyor tube, we're going to right click on the survival kit and on the O2H2 generator. And now we can see our build planner is full. Okay, so now what we need to do, we'll wait for this to obviously finish producing first before we add the rest in, because you don't want to now go and add extra in and you get stuck now whereby it adds too much and you don't produce what you need. But that's how the build planner works. So we'll just wait for that to finish. We'll be right back. Once it's done, we'll start getting the basics set up. Alright, so as we can see, all the components for the wind turbine have been completed. So what we do, you can either go in and pull them all out individually, or you can just middle mouse click and it will pull out all the components needed for what you need for the turbine. Obviously it said there that there was not enough for the rest of the stuff, but that's because we haven't started building it yet. So let's get the wind turbine up and running. So if you watch it, as soon as it goes over the functional line, the wind turbine then becomes active. Okay, so what I like to point out, green light means that it's working and it's functional. Yellow light or yellow LED will mean that obviously it's either not connected to something or it hasn't got enough, or no, so yellow light means it's not connected to anything, so logistically it won't work, and red light just means there's no power. So now that we've got power to the base, we can now go here and we can say add all components to the production queue. So you can either just let it build like this, or what I like to do is you combine everything together like this. It creates a little bit of a little bit less space in your build planner and in your queue here, so you can see basically how much of each component you require to build the things that we have put in the queue. So as you can see, there's quite a bit that we obviously need to get going. So we need 340 steel plates, 147 construction components, 44 motors, 6 displays, 102 computers, and 65 interior plates. So I'm going to go get some rocks going. So we'll see you once we've got all the components, guys. Okay, so we've done quite a lot of digging. As you can see, if we take a look at our mine here, you guys are going to have to be very much enjoyful of rock finding. But what we've managed to do so far, if we take a look, we've got quite a large number of components that are already made here, which is awesome. And as you can see, the volume, it obviously keeps increasing. So what you need to do is just keep tabs of it. So we'll put some rock away in there so that the rock can start feeding in. So we've got some space in our inventory. And then what we can do is we can start pulling some of the components out and just start filling in where we can. So we start with the assembler. Move to the refinery, move to the cargo box, survival kit, O2 generator. Should be able to get something into here as well. A little bit in here as well. Okay, cool. We just need to replenish some of our energy. But the components will start feeding themselves in as they start building. Preferably we would want to obviously get the assembler up as quick as possible. So I've ordered this in a sense that we could. The steel plates take the longest, so I thought we'd put them last so that we can at least get majority of the components in. As you can see, we still need quite a lot of iron ingots for the steel plates. So there's still quite a bit of digging to do, but we'll get there. So just wanted to give you guys the scene of what you're going to be looking at when you're doing this. So yeah, we'll see you in a bit again. Okay, so as you guys can see now, we've got the basic assembler up and running. So what we need to do, or what we've done, is we take out all the components from the survival kit that we've crafted so far. And I'll tell you guys why now. As we come into the assembler, we put everything into the assembler, and we can start producing. As you can see, there's a whole lot more that we can produce from here now. So if we start producing the steel plates, we can now see that we can produce them a whole lot faster than what they were being produced in the survival kit. So in order to get the refinery up and running, we still need 119 steel plates. So once we've got the refinery up, then we can start working proper, because the refinery also will refine all our rocks and stone and things a lot quicker, which means that our yield and time spent to build things will be a lot quicker. So yeah, the next time I'll be seeing you is once we've got the fully functional base. So see you then. Okay, so I've run into a little snag here. I can't obviously access my refinery because I've built that up there. So what I wanted to show you guys is, obviously in the assemblage, so earlier we were unable to make metal grids. So one quick way to get around that, and a very, very simple way to get around that, we'll just drop the stone off in here, is on the bottom of your drop pod. Let's just get rid of that. On the bottom of your drop pod, you've got a hydrogen thruster. If you take a look there, it's got 4 metal grids, which is exactly what we need. So we'll get rid of that, and we will complete the cargo container, which means now we've got full access to all of what we need to complete our builds. So we're just going to quickly finish up here. We've got all of that. Okay, so we'll put that away. Alright, we'll be right back. Alright, so now we are back, and as you can see, we've got everything basically set up. The refinery, the assembler, the conveyors, the cargo container, and the O2H generator. But as you've noticed, we've got a green light that side and a yellow light this side. Now that just simply means that whatever that conveyor is connected to is either incomplete or not correctly connected. So at this point we can obviously see we need 3 survival kits, and if we go into our production, metal grids we can take up, but we can't produce them because we need silver. So what we're going to do is, now that we've got everything set up there, all happy good days, we're going to take everything out of the survival kit on the drop pod. We're simply going to remove the drop pod to get those 3 medical components, and we can now go back here and we can finish up the survival kit. And while we're at it, we will just replenish our energy. So personally, guys, what I like to do, and a lot of people disagree with me, but please let me know what you think in the comments. Obviously for a starter base, this works out well. It's got enough power to produce everything. I mean, if we take a look into the control panel and we go to the twin blade, we can see that our current output is 18 kilowatts, max output is 384. I like building two wind turbines, but a lot of people disagree with me because they say it's too much space wasted, and which does make sense. I mean, obviously to a certain degree there's going to be stuff that we can't always do, etc. So let's just put all of this stuff where it needs to go. We'll put the gravel into the assembler. Iron into the assembler, nickel into the assembler, silicon into the assembler, so that's all there. That over there. So, I mean, I like extending it out, so I always go and do something like this, purely for the sake that I enjoy, obviously, having it. Have we got... Oh, I didn't take that out. Anyways, so you extend it out this way by 9 blocks and up by another 9 to get that going. But, guys, this is the very basics of what you need to get started. So, we'll go through it again. You need a basic assembler. You need a refinery. We need a cargo container, not a large cargo container, it's just a small one. We need a survival kit to keep ourselves alive, and we need an O2H2 generator. And what we can actually do now, seeing as though we've got the O2H2 generator up there, we can take the oxygen and the ice out here of the drop pod, and we can actually throw it into the O2H2 generator over here. So now, instead of going to the drop pod to refuel, we come here and we can refuel our hydrogen bottles here. So everything seems to have made way. It seems to have worked out the way it should. But yeah, guys, this is your very basic starting base setup. And then next time we'll take a look at a couple of other things. We'll start off from there. But yeah, without further ado, guys, this is the start of the new survival round with me, should I say. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you've enjoyed, and we'll see you soon again. Without further ado, this is Phantom Gaming ZA saying thank you very much, and goodbye.